Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to From Behind Tall Trees. My name is Brendan Brown. I've been called in last minute because we had some shifting of the co-host and the host thing. I got my good friend Chuck Larson attached to me at the hip. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
Thanks I'm doing great.
Pitching in.
No problem, dude. We have, I just got off the horn. We were talking to our guests tonight, who are a couple that do some really great Bigfoot research. They're from the Pennsylvania, Ohio area, and they are a husband and wife team from, I would say it would be northwestern Pennsylvania. They live on the Ohio side of the border. Tonight, we're talking to Jenny and JAMI King, and this is From Behind Tall Trees.
Deep in the forests of North America, a creature is said to exist. A creature that people are encountering. With far too many reports to ignore, there are elements of truth behind these accounts that mankind can no longer ignore.
Breaking news out of Texas, Bigfoot is real.
Could a breeding population of large, upright, hairy hominids really exist in North America?
Or is there something more paranormal at work here, deep in the woods?
If just one footprint, one wood knock, or one howl is real, then man's understanding of primate evolution would be changed forever. Join the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective as they delve further into the mysteries of Bigfoot and other paranormal phenomena through the eyes of witnesses, investigators, critics, and skeptics. Join us as we look to discover what lurks from behind tall trees.
Well, here we are. As promised, good evening. We're back. And first of all, we were just talking, and it was a last-minute shift for me to be host. But I tell you what, in the last 20 minutes, I've been talking to our tonight's guest, Jenny and JAMI King. Very welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys for coming on. I've been trying to get you guys on for a while, and just so glad to be able to get on this evening. So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, I mean, just in the brief conversation we had before the show, we kind of got our bases established as far as what's going on with them. And so let's first of all let's give the floor to you guys. Why don't you tell the people that are on now what your group is and what you guys been doing? Go.
All right. Basically, like we had a Bigfoot encounter, what we believe to be a Bigfoot encounter in Pennsylvania. And not only did we have one, but we had two in the same location. So that kind of validated our first encounter. When we had the second one, we were taking our friend back to the same location to show them where this happened. Mm-hmm. And on the way out, we had a visual of what this thing was. And, like from that point on, it was huge questions. So like we didn't say Bigfoot right away, but then you start putting things together. And when I say we're doing a micro study, I have journals of things that I keep. And then Jenny and I just sort of gave it a name. So this is our Bigfoot name. And we take what we do seriously, but most of what we do is hiking. So we're documenting this area called Shenango Reservoir, Shenango River, and we're documenting it like a scientist would.
Right.
We're currently watching 20 plus shelters that we found. And I know some people out there in the Bigfoot community either like shelters or they don't like shelters. But for us, it's like we're trying to document all of these. We draw pictures of them. We take pictures of them. We found physical evidence. So we research on a physical level, but we also research on a spiritual level because our encounter was also very physical, but also had a very spiritual element.
Now, when you say that, Jenny, can you expand on that encounter?
You mean spiritually?
Yeah, well, the physical and the spiritually.
Well, I would say when we had our first encounter, you could physically see something shaking, like the trees shaking in the distance, and we actually heard something. That's maybe not exactly physical; it's audio.
Right.
But we actually heard something. I think for JAMI could probably explain this better because it has to deal with his dad and his passing. But on the spiritual level, Jamie asked for a sign from his dad. And ultimately, it turned out to be what happened with our first experience. And then later was validated to Jamie when he was driving in the car.
So,
And-
I mean, like,
yeah.
to put it in perspective, my father had lived with us with bone cancer. First, my mom passed away, but then my dad ended up with cancer.
Now, how long ago was this? Just to establish a timeline.
2009.
2009. Jenny's
Okay.
remembering it
All
better.
right. Okay.
So 2009, my dad was living with us. He had bone cancer, and he passed away. And I was kind of in this like weird slump, like It was a depression. And Jenny said, "Let's go out hiking." And long story short, on this day that we had this encounter, I had said a prayer that Dad, give me a sign that you're here. Completely forgot about that. Had this encounter that we believed was Bigfoot, and I've told it on other podcasts, and sometimes do it in our lectures. But the thing is, what happened was over the days following this encounter, I had to dissect this whole thing in my mind over and over again. And I was on my way to work, and I realized, long story short, the last movie that I saw with my dad was Harry and the Hendersons. So
not to laugh, but yeah, that's fun.
right.
No, it's pretty cool.
I can
Yeah.
talk about it now. When it first happened, it was really very emotional for me to even talk about. But the part of it that I would call spiritual, or sort of like, I look at it now as like energy. Like, my father's passing, I said a prayer to him, and I know in the Bigfoot world this is going to sound kooky, but I swear to you, that encounter was very physical, but that was a big encounter for us. The first encounter that we had, where we watched trees shaking,
Yeah,
we
we had
watched
no
a puddle
idea.
rippling on the ground.
We weren't into Bigfooting or anything like that.
You were just kind of there in the woods trying to, yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was a dinosaur the first time we heard it.
It was prehistoric.
Now you said there was audio evidence, right? There was something. Can you explain what it sounded like?
Like a dinosaur.
Really?
No. Well, yeah, it sounded
it sounded
prehistoric.
to me that's what it sounded like a huge T-Rex or something in the forest.
But what we did is, when we came home, and I think this is the audio she's talking about, when we came home, we researched animal sounds, because Jenny and I grew up in Pennsylvania. We grew up rural, we're outdoors people.
Yeah, we never heard
heard that sound. So we researched, we couldn't find anything that sounded like what we heard until we somebody had told us, put in the Ohio howl. So I was like, I don't know what that is, but I put it in, and what played back was like, it really hit us both, because we were both like,
we both just stared at each other like, oh my gosh, that's what we heard, except it was a lot louder, and you could feel it in your body.
And like, it turns out that the Ohio howl was recorded in Wellsville, Ohio, which is 40 miles from Shenango, where we had our encounter. And then I was like, this is kind of crazy. So then we realized it was recorded by Matt Moneymaker from Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who those people were at that time, but then you just kind of start putting the pieces together, and
Well, the Ohio Hell is very famous, and it's funny because we had David Ellis on. We've had him on a couple months ago, and David Ellis is the lead audio analyst for the Olympic project. And he explained to us, he said, listen, he said, the first thing I heard, the biggest howl I heard, it sounded like an elephant trumpeting and a dinosaur. That's what he heard.
Okay, yeah, makes
and
sense.
And like an angry, like a very big elephant trumpeting and like a lion roar, like all mixed together. And he said it sounded very prehistoric. So that being said, it's not far from the norm to hear that. You've heard that.
Oh, we've heard.
Did he say that he could feel it?
Yes, it was very guttural, and you could feel it. Yeah, and David Ellis he's as high as it gets as far as vetting information. To try to kick out coyotes and wolves and deer and elk and bison and whatever. He vets information. That's all he does, and he's not saying it's Bigfoot, but he's saying it's something really freaking strange,
massive.
Right?
Yeah,
like, we're not saying it's Bigfoot either, but I mean, it matched that Ohio howl. It was louder than that Ohio howl. It was closer than that Ohio howl to us.
And it shook you? Like you felt it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was coming. It's hard to describe because it's almost like your body was vibrating. Yeah.
So, I mean, I can tell you.
Did you guys feel stunned or scared? Like, was it like, were you like what was your initial reaction?
I'd say
Like-
we were probably stunned, yes, but yeah, we kind of did just stand there and you could feel it.
It was more of like an oh shit, and it was also more of
Mm.
like you didn't want to speak, and you also didn't want to make any sudden movements because we had our dog with us, and our dog was clearly visibly shaking.
She wanted picked up. She was
Really? So she wasn't in the fight mode. She was in the flight mode. There's a lot of dogs will be like, "Arr," going to get it, and she kind of.
No, and this is before the howl. She wanted picked up, so I think she sent something even before.
And dogs are. I mean, they've used dogs down at Skinwalker Ranch. They used to use dogs as sensing agents, right? They're very in tune with smell, sight, and hearing, and they're a good like I said, the sensing agent. So if the dog came to you, usually dogs, even little dogs will want to fight them, or they want to be there, but if there's something wrong that they feel, they want to circle the wagons, and that says a lot about the environment that you were in. Wow. Now you guys investigate by yourselves, right? Or do you have people that come with you, or are you guys just solo hitting the woods by yourselves?
Sometimes we do. Most of the time, I guess we've had our friend Sparky come out with us. But...
Yeah, I mean, Sparky's our friend that we've ghost hunted with. We were tour guides at Mansfield Prison in Ohio, and we were tour guides at another place called Haunted Hillview Manor in Newcastle.
I've heard of that place. Yeah.
So both of them are about connecting with energy, and that's kind of what we do.
There too.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're connecting with the energy of the forest a lot like a tracker would. And like after our encounter, the direction of our research or observation became connecting with the forest. So a lot of what we do, we utilize the universal laws. So if you study the universal laws, that's what we use. And we also use the laws of nature, and they make more sense. And when I say this, it's because like it would be disingenuous of me to ignore the fact that I said a prayer to my dad and it was answered in a way that I would never, ever in a million years ever think of.
Imagined, yeah.
No. And the Bigfoot encounter, or what I'm saying is a Bigfoot encounter, was very big, but that other side of it became bigger to me. So it was like this, energy came over me where I had to start researching in those ways. Like I researched the power of prayer, the power of thought, and all of those things are part of the universal laws. So when we're utilizing those in our research, like Jenny's a Reiki healer, so she's in tune with energy within the human body. And like I'm going back for like ecotherapy to connect with forest therapy and nature.
So I'm excited for you to
So
do that.
it's all about
it sounds like a perfect field to head in on that one right there. Yeah. But it is, you're right. I think it's all about energy. And we were talking about that earlier, and I think a lot of our guests will have the same question I had, and not to go down the same path we did, but sometimes you feel like we've been lucky. We have Gwen and Carrie that are part of our team, and we have the female gender gets into the field, and it seems like, and again, we're just reiterating what we were talking on before the show, but I think it's important to mention that a lot of times when you have somebody like a Reiki healer, you're open, your mind is open and very expansive, and you understand, you're willing to accept things that a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are closed-minded, but I find that having the feminine gender in the forest sometimes opens up opportunities that might not be there for a bunch of guys that are just a bunch of guys. I mean, we talked about that, so we can go right back down that path again. For our viewers, yeah.
It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I like I mentioned, earlier, I really do think that men have the ability also to be more intuitive and to be more perceptive. It's just that, like you were saying, they do have the tendency to be more like, I'm the hunter and gatherer, protector.
Puffed up, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Alpha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it may be true. A lot of times women, that's the dog. That's why this is.
Oh, it's fine. He wants to be on camera. That's fine.
Bring Murray on.
Bring Murray up.
But yeah, so I think a lot of times women are a bit more intuitive and perceptive. That can be true, yes, but I think we all have that ability. I have to throw that out there. But.
I do think you're 100% right on that. I think it's like I've gone through. I used to be go, no patience, and I've I went through a bunch of a bunch of complicated surgeries, and I've learned to kind of slow things down and be a little bit more open-minded and to be a bit more critical of what I'm doing and checking my dotting the I's and crossing the T's as I go around. And I found that that helps me with the research that I do. Yeah. The other research that you guys do, though, you guys do a lot of, Charlie, I think you'll take over from here about the tree structures, right?
Yeah, you
guys
have been documenting. You said 20 of them, right now or currently?
There's at least 20. I think it's 24. I'm sorry.
It's like 22 or 24,
yeah.
But yeah. There's structures that we've just been finding, and like I'd never say they're Bigfoot, but there's a researcher in Canada, Leanne Carnegie, and again, she's female, but I really enjoy her research, and she's sent me things, I've sent her things, and we go back and forth. And when you look at the structures that she has found in Ontario, Canada, and then you look at the structures that I have found here at Shenango, it's almost like an artist in how they do their brush stroke.
They're
it's
very
so
similar,
and it's
very, very similar.
Yeah. And like I see a lot of people in the Bigfoot community, and they post pictures of like a tree bent over, and you really kind of have to discern in your mind what that means. Like a lot of times when you study the natural things in the forest, a tree bends to reach the sun, like the canopy's so big that it's reaching it.
I literally just had to cut down a limb on a big maple tree behind my house because the one bottom limb had to grow so long to reach the sun that it bent. But you obviously have to cut out wind shear damage, snowfall, all that stuff, right? You're not one of those people walking through the woods going, "Oh, Bigfoot, Bigfoot."
No. No.
Because people say that, right? There's critics, right, of your work and say, "Oh, every tree structure is not Bigfoot," but you're not saying that every tree structure is Bigfoot, correct?
You're not saying any of them are.
No, and honestly, I respect everyone's opinion. And when I see other people's research, or they bring it to me, or they'll show me a picture, I'll look at it and I'll be honest with them, and I'll say, I think it may be just the way it's growing into the sun.
Right.
Or, I try to be as respectful as I can to people. And Jenny and I know the difference when we find these structures and they look a lot like the ones that they're found in Canada. And, like we've come up with this just theory that they use Ontario, they come down through New York.
Now, do you have any pictures anywhere? Is it on your Facebook group? Because I was going to try to.
On our Facebook.
I was going to try to. Let me see if I can pull one up and grab it. So you guys keep talking. I'm here, but I was going to try to grab it, a picture. So, go keep talking about that, because I find it interesting, because I too think that there's a lot of structures out there. That being said, what do you think they're for? I mean, they're not really shelter, right?
No, I think they're too small, and because a lot of them I can hardly fit in. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're actually a shelter, so to speak, where somebody or something's going to be living. I think it's more of a form of communication, is what I'm thinking. Just like in a certain area, maybe the way they build it, like if it's a lean-to style or a teepee style, that maybe that's some form of, hey, this is what this means in this area.
Now, what's your Facebook group name, if I can grab it from you?
You can go to Penn-Ohio Bigfoot Field Evidence Evaluation. I should have never made anything that big. It's
That's all right. We're trust me, we're the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective. So
so we got.
Yeah, so this is the pitfalls of jumping on last minute. So it's a Penn-Ohio Bigfoot. Is it really all field?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's like a big German
evidence, then evaluation.
Yeah, if it comes up, it comes up. But I mean,
evaluation team.
Yes. And there's an album. Like honestly, I take pride
in
the fact that I have an album on there, and I try to document as much, and I add to it as much as I can. But I mainly use Instagram to document, because that was like the one thing where I saw that it would timestamp stuff. So I keep all of it under a hashtag Penn-Ohio Bigfoot Field Evidence Evaluation. And really it was all for me. It wasn't for like other people, but it was more a place where I could store and collect the stuff that I'm collecting for like a body of evidence that, I believe is evidence.
Right. Now I just joined it because I didn't have time to look down and find Sasquatch Wanted. I like that. Apply within. Which was on the homepage. So you're using that as kind of you're just data dump, right? You're putting all your stuff there.
Yes. Yes, because like when I have these journals, and I have all kinds of journals that I keep, one day when I pass away, my nieces and nephews are going to have this weird collection of like photographs and notes about structures and all this stuff, and notes about prints that we found.
Well, that's a very good thing, because I was going to ask, do you guys have children? No, but you have nieces and nephews. What do they think about your adventures into the woods?
I think they think it's pretty cool.
I know my niece. I have a 10-year-old niece, and she loves it. He's going to look for Bigfoot.
Yeah, TJ, my 7-year-old nephew, the same thing.
They like it, but they've never come with us. Like, like it's hard to get family to come out and do stuff with us. We have a really good core group of friends that, we're lucky to live where we live with the researchers that are around us. Like we have our friend Sparky,
Right.
Bill Rigby, that is part of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. Mary
Feels
Fabian.
awesome.
Then we have Amy Boo and her zoo book.
Yes,
and
Amy Boo's a good friend of ours. I adore her, and I hope she's feeling better. Right, she's been battling some issues.
So we really truly have like a lot of people around us, and Cryptovania. We were talking about them.
Yep.
Last night before. I would love to go out with them. They've invited us out, but we've never had the opportunity.
Well, we're trying to put something together, right? Charlie, you want to jump in on that one?
Well, yeah, last night, Jamie, we were talking. They've been trying to get us out there too. So maybe we can all join forces together and just have like a super group. Just go out, and because they're Western Allegheny. And Jamie, what's the Native American name for Allegheny, or was what's it named after?
Okay, so this is like all this research that I did after our encounter. I started researching everything that I could about the Shenango, about the Allegheny National Forest, all of it. And I started coming across like the Allegheny Mountains got their names after these things called the Allegui, which were these giants that lived amongst the Indians. So the Allegui lived with in the Alleghenies, and that's like how it really got its name. And then like you're from what, New Jersey? So the Delaware Indians were part of this whole part of Pennsylvania. They came across, and the Lenape were the tribe.
Yep.
They were in Shenango, and they all had a name for Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or whatever the spiritual entity that they called it, Masingwa. And it's actually a big long word, but it's Masingwa. And we've worked with some people that were Native American tribal people, and they've talked to us about it, and they've gone out with us on a few occasions.
Brian Dilly.
Yeah, our friend Brian Dilly, he's part of the Lenape tribe.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's great. That's what's great about the whole Pennsylvania and Ohio corridor. It seems like it's chock full of competent, smart, bright investigators that want to figure out what's going on, because chances are a lot of people have had similar activity like you have, and they're not just going out to do it. They've actually had an experience. And I think that if you look at the state map of Pennsylvania, it's just, there's so much rugged wildlife territories, right? In Ohio and eastern Ohio is the same thing, right? You've got a lot of oak trees, so you got a ton of food, a natural protein for the bucks over there are huge. So that means that if they're there, if they're coming in to feed, whether they're interdimensional or not, there's plenty of stuff to feed on, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Like when you think of Pennsylvania and you think of Ohio, you think of all these little spotty towns all over. But I think that they utilize the population base. I think that they're very much opportunistic, and they come in. Like when I would first think of it, I would be like, there's no big, like this couldn't be a Bigfoot encounter. But really, why not? I mean, Pennsylvania is very big woods. Like know this.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Massive.
The darkest spot on the East Coast is in Pennsylvania. It's called Cherry Tree State Park, and it's up near Bradford, where we talked about. You've researched.
We were just we weren't far from there in Bradford. We got our howl from there.
Yeah, and I have no doubt when you say that you had a howl, because it's very common to hear these howls not only in Ohio but Pennsylvania. Like we've heard the Ohio howl in the Allegheny National Forest. That's a few places that we actually do micro study, and it's not just Shenango, but we do the Alleghenies, and then we have an area in Hocking Hills, Ohio, where we've been doing ongoing research, and in all of those locations we've had activity.
And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I am an optimistic optimistical skeptic, right? I want to, and I'll tell you what. That night we heard that howl, the paradigm shift just went. And it took a year for us to release the howl because we had to send it to David Ellis. We sent it to Adam Davies first. He sent it to David Ellis, and he vetted it and said, "Listen, you got some weird shit going on there." And it was raining. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and then suddenly it was right on top of us, and it was like, man, and my friends, I got my friends here, like, dude, you're looking for Bigfoot, you're a fucking lunatic, blah blah blah. But it was there. I heard what I heard, and it wasn't. I contacted the Pennsylvania Fish and Game, Department of Fish and Game. They said, listen, to us, it sounds like a wolf, but we don't have wolves. And that was all they would comment on. But when you're there, and I'm telling you, I was there. I'm not a lunatic. I heard what I heard, and it was there. And it was in that deep pit right there in the Allegheny National Forest. And that being said, I think audio evidence, there's a lot to, and we all know that the woods make some strange stuff, right? You've heard bobcats and owls and elk and all sorts of stuff. But
owls can sound like monkeys.
Right, but I know what I heard, right? And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I think the Fish and Game, they know they're there too. They just don't say.
Well, I mean,
I agree with you on that one, yeah.
We were just at a birthday party. Our friend Snuffy, he's a carver, Bigfoot carver, and he lives in Allegheny National Forest in Ridgeway. And there was a DNR Army Corps of Engineer lady there, and she was talking about mountain lions in Pennsylvania. And I'm not going to say her name or throw her under the bus, but she saw a mountain lion, and they're supposed to not be in Pennsylvania.
I can't. Mountain lions aren't supposed to be west of the Rockies, right?
Yeah, New York and New Jersey either. We got them.
Yeah, so I think there are big cats out there. They just same thing. They're just like, oh no, they're not there. But
well, that's the thing. It's like I lived in Washington State, and they have big cats there, and even when they have big cats there, the only reason you see them, you never see them, right? They could be 5 feet behind you, and you'll never see them. So trying to track the population sounds almost impossible.
I almost hit one on I-90 when I was in Idaho. I think it was
really
massive. Oh yeah. It was like 14 feet long. I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
So, so you guys, what do you guys got going on right now? The summer right here has been beautiful for us. Have you guys got a chance to get out? You guys, how frequently do you guys get a chance to go out camping? And it sounds like you get out a lot.
we try to. Actually, in the summer when it's really, really hot.
She doesn't like the heat.
Like
I love you, babe. I hate the heat.
Yeah, I don't like it either when it's humid and we get out into what I call the huckapucks, and you're just on game trails. Like there's nobody else going out there unless it's probably an animal, and the mosquitoes are terrible.
Oh yeah,
nope.
So we don't get out quite as much maybe when it's really hot.
I would say we got out more, but we've kind of backed off. I had an injury. I'm still healing from my injury, but
yeah. But no,
would you? So you guys are like us. I try to gear up our full operations. Go early spring or late fall, right?
Yeah.
So when it cools down.
Spring and fall, I love it. Even in the winter, I don't mind getting out. I mean, as long as it's not too bad, even in the winter.
And it's a lot easier because the leaves are off the trees, right? You can get around, and you know, as long as it's not hunting season,
Right.
you know, there's a lot, and there's no reason to sit out and suffer in the heat, right? Those guys God bless those guys that go for the swamp apes in Florida and Texas, and they sit in August. It's like 100% humidity, and oh, Jesus, God bless them.
Like if you go by my notes, like I my notes that I have and I keep, I think that the best times to have activity are late spring and late summer, almost going into fall.
Yeah, like early.
I got to respond to a thing here. Sorry. Go ahead, Charlie.
You figure it's you know, the summertime, exactly. You know, get all the weekend warriors coming from the city and going camping and going to the state parks, and so I'm assuming they go into hiding. You know what I mean, or into their interdimensional thing. You know, so yeah. After all the yahoos go back to the city, then they feel safe to come back out again.
Now, Charlie, did you just admit that Bigfoot might be interdimensional? It sounded like you did, Charlie.
I might have.
It's Charlie's flesh and blood. He's flesh and blood. Are we cracking the plaster here, Charlie?
We might be. Well, Jamie's conversation last night. I was kind of, you got to me last night, Jamie.
Charlie and Mike are very flesh and blood, very, very, like if it leaves physical evidence, it must be flesh and blood. And like Jenny said, I can do that too. It could be.
Well, like I
It
told
could be both. It
Jamie
could be
last
both.
night. Like I told Jamie last night, if I find out that Bigfoot's an alien or something other than flesh and blood, I'm probably hanging up the boots and just becoming an armchair quarterback, because I really don't be running into like an alien in the woods, or into a big animal, but not an alien.
That's a good question. Do you guys are your microphones muted? Can you hear us? Your microphone's off.
Yeah, you might have to check your microphone.
No, it's muted now, but it's there. It is. You're back.
Got it. You there?
No, it's not there again. Oh, you're muted now. Unmute it. Can you hear us? There, you're back on.
Yes.
Back on.
Oh, it's crackling again.
No, I hear it.
There is a crackling. Like, you guys are crackling this time.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
This is the joy of live broadcasting, right?
Sounds like Stranger Things. I just started watching Stranger Things on Netflix. It sounds just like it.
Maybe we just went interdimensional.
That's what it is. You're
That's
spreading.
what it is.
We're in the, what's it called? The under. What's
Yeah.
Underneath.
So that's a good question, and we apologize for the audio. I'm going to mute you for a second there. Okay, so we apologize for the audio hiccup here with the Kings. I'm going to mute it while I talk to you guys, and then I'll unmute it when you answer. Charlie was talking about being kind of freaked out in the woods when paranormal stuff happens. Has there ever been a point where you guys have been like, it's a little weird here? Do you guys stand your ground?
Wait, I'm sorry. You were cracking up, but were you asking?
Has there ever been a time when you two have been in the woods investigating at night and you go, you know what? Maybe we should leave. We're a little nervous.
No, nervous. I'm usually not really afraid of too much. So if Bigfoot were to show up in an alien, I would embrace it both.
She's pretty fearless. I mean, like we've had circumstances where a tree was thrown at us. The rest of us were really
running.
We were really like. I wish we would have stayed and witnessed what happened, but this tree was thrown at us and we all kind of Scooby-Dooed out of there. But Jenny was the only one that had this voice of reason, let's
trooper.
Wow.
I wasn't scared. Sparky wasn't scared either though.
Not me. I'd be in the car.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry. It's hard to hear. Can we kind of reset like we did before when it was crackling? What did you do before to fix the crackling?
Oop.
Yeah, I muted him for now. So my thing is they're out there. Jenny seems very peaceful, right? She seems like she's in control of her environment. And it's funny because I know that you love to, Charlie, you'd be bing, I'm gone.
No, you wouldn't even, you see a little dust cloud.
And I'm a big fan of, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging and shooting, but I don't think. See, we're coming back. Okay, now you all have to do is turn it sideways. Your camera. You got to turn the phone. You got to turn the phone. I don't have my phone on me. Here, hang on a second. You have to turn the camera, turn the phone sideways. There it is. Yay.
Are you going to unmute them?
No, they're unmuted. You got to unmute it on your end. I think you're unmuted on my end. I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
You want to say something? Oh.
No, they're there. I just can't. I can't. There's no audio coming through. We got a big audience here, dude. We got a big audience. So they want to know, how big was the tree? So see if you can you text them or something? See, we can't hear you. We appreciate your guys' patience. Are they there? Hello? Can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. I know, right? Sign language. I should learn sign language. I can't hear you. I can't hear. We can't hear you.
Hear us?
Yes.
There you are. Hey, you're back. It's crackling again.
That's all right.
All right, so we're fine. So we had a question. I'm going to turn this down for a second here. All right, can you hear us? Yes. All right, so there's a question when you said you had a tree thrown at you. How big was that tree? Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Or anything. Oh, can you still hear us?
Oh, no. Okay. I can hear you.
Perfect.
Start again about the tree thing because the answer stopped. I think there's something wrong with whatever's going on here. So go ahead about the tree. The question about how big the tree was.
Oh, it was a big tree.
It
Like
was big.
Sparky went up the next day to check it out, and he said, it's a huge tree. Like there's no way somebody could have just picked it up and tossed it.
And
You could have picked it up and tossed
we
it.
try to debunk it, and the only thing that I could think that could do that would be like a human. And then somebody said they have wild boar. Like a wild boar could dig it up, but not throw something.
Well, no, I wouldn't be able to throw it, but I don't know.
Can you hear us at all? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how close did it come to you guys then? Was it like?
I don't know. It was dark. It sounded close. It was like actually Sparky was the only one that saw it flying in the air. So
the scary part to us was our friend had an air horn, and we didn't know that this girl had an air horn. So when this tree was thrown, she let off this air horn.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yes. Like that freaked me out more.
I know that scared me more than anything because I was like, "What the heck? Like why air
Yeah.
horn?"
Yeah, that's bad timing on that one. I think with the noise is it's our speaker, it's our mics coming through your microphone. You hear it? I can hear myself through your. Can you turn our speaker down? Can you turn the speakers down a little bit?
I'm going to do something with our volume.
Yeah. Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you
I
hear
can
us?
hear you.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, I think what it is I think maybe your speakers are going through the microphone and kind of acting funny.
But at least we can hear you.
Yes. And
Or
you
we
know
do
sign
it
language. I don't know
upside
sign language.
Hang in there.
I know the
Yeah. The West Side. So we'll go back. I want to back up a little bit because I was curious to you said that
Hello?
Yep. Oh Jesus, they're sideways again. You can't go sideways. You can't go sideways. We can't see you. You got to turn your phone again. This is fun. Turn the phone. You're sideways. How can they not see that?
Maybe you're gonna put it like this.
Yeah, but they're looking at the screen, right? Oh boy.
That's all right.
We can't hear you at all. Nothing.
Nothing.
I need to write something down. I'll write Charlie filibuster while I'm writing this down.
What are you going to filibuster about?
And what you hear, I'm going to bring up the banner for next week's show.
Okay.
Or you can read it. Read it as it goes. I'm going to write something down.
Okay. Join Gwen and Carrie at the Girls of CRC for another exciting ladies' night on FBTT with special guests Sean Forker. Wednesday, June 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
You didn't have to read it word for word.
Well, that's you said the filibuster. Now, Sean,
Do you know what a filibuster is, dude?
I'm going to try to do it. No, not really. You're screaming sideways, and we can't hear you.
This is the joy. This will probably get an Emmy.
This is awesome. This is good entertainment, bro.
I'm so glad I jumped in for this one.
The
Horizontal.
no, yeah, that'll be a good show next week when she was busy. Turn phone sideways, horizontal. I think they're trying to fix it while they're doing it.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Now
the sound. One second. This is entertainment.
it's all.
But
it's like Pictionary, but
you're gonna get an award for this.
coming in.
Yeah,
Hang on a second. You guys there? Nothing. No audio.
No audio.
They look wonderful. They look beautiful, but they can't. We can't hear them. Oh, hang on a second. You're muted. Okay. I'm running out of paper here.
Are they muted or are we muted?
They muted themselves.
Oh, James, like I had enough.
All right.
Mute button on.
Hey, there he is. Can you hear us?
You got it?
It's nothing. But I guess we're gonna call it a night because this can't go on.
See, hold on. Let's just give him one more second.
Okay.
One more second. Hold on. What's your James? Where's Ever? No. We just gotta fix your sound. I'm mute. Sign out. Sign back in. Sign out.
All right, folks. Well, listen, if people love to watch live broadcasting when it comes to Bigfoot, we're talking to Jamie, and we're attempting to talk to Jamie and Jenny King from the Penn-Ohio Bigfoot Field Evidence Evaluation Team. They're a great couple. They're awesome. Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties, but luckily we have Charlie here. Charlie, it's so funny is I would love to have seen you wander through the woods on this one by yourself tonight.
Oh God, I would have been hitting the wall a couple times. And
yeah. So we got a private chat here. Did you put the private chat up there? Okay. She's sending a text. Any questions? Give us some questions. You got to have questions out there. When are they going back out again? I think we're going to find out eventually when they go back out again. I would like to see them out with us sometime. It's hard because we've gathered, we've got the Squatch Watchers down in North Carolina or South Carolina that want us to jump on with them and Julie Wrench. Here they come again. Let's see, we got them. They're back! Hey!
Oh my gosh.
That was awesome.
Exactly 44 minutes.
That's awesome. That was perfect.
Worst
and you're not
guest ever.
No, bullshit. No. Trust me, we had MK Davis on, and he was like 45 or 47 minutes late. And it was like live shows, and we had to stretch for 47 minutes.
Yeah,
shit happens. You're back. You're back. It's funny because I was sitting there going, you got to turn your camera.
Well, it was funny how it would turn like that. We're like, why is that happening?
Yeah, because you guys are literally sideways. Yeah, but it sounds perfect now. So we'll blame it on StreamYard. So let's pick up back where we have a question here from somebody that was patient enough. They said, they're curious of when your next investigation is, or when you guys going out. Do you guys call it an investigation, or do you guys go out and just camp and see if things happen?
Oh yeah, we kind of just go out and see what happens. I mean,
we're not official expedition people. Like, we do stuff every once in a while with like our friends that like we go to Creekfoot with. Like, basically, it's Jenny and I really like to go out to the Alleghenies and camp alone and do our stuff. But we do camp. Like, I used to go on different dates with some of my friends, like Brian Davis, Scott Gear, Kevin Morrison from Canada.
Which those guys take it more literally, right? They're bringing their cameras, they're bringing their equipment, they're bringing you. Now, do you guys bring anything into the woods with you guys? Digital recorders, anything, or just your minds and your open minds and your eyes?
Yeah, we use ourselves.
Number one,
we use ourselves, and then we also, take a recorder. We have cameras, but I also get, a little different where I'm also bringing like incense and Palo Santo and I don't know.
She brings stuff to bring in the curiosity of whatever might be there. We do use cameras. We have recorders. My favorite thing is a Panasonic DR60, which is used in ghost hunting. And I should have sent the audio to you, but we've had recordings where we were with very serious, like BFRO type people that have rules. Jenny and I are kind of rule breakers. Like,
that's what I love about you guys. You guys play you guys color outside the lines, it seems like.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we were recording. There was activity during the day. There was activity happening at night, and I pulled out this recorder and I started recording. And the recorder actually records like infrasound, like ghost hunting. So like I asked intelligent questions like, "Can you tell me the name of this forest?" And when I played back the recording, the whatever was there was in below 28Z, and it said Allegheny. So really? I established intelligence with whatever this was, and I'm not even saying it's Bigfoot.
And you have that on audio. Well, but whether it's Bigfoot or not, but you have that audio. I mean, we're not going to play it now, but you have that available.
Yes, I do. And, like one of the most exciting things for me, and Jenny and I, we experiment with everything that we do. And when we're in the forest or when we're ghost hunting, I think we're really kind of cool ghost hunters too, because of the locations that we've been to and been volunteers. So we've spent a lot of time understanding energy, and we don't even call it ghost hunting anymore. We call it energy work. And I think
that's an accurate description of it.
Yeah. And like when I was in the Allegheny National Forest and I had those answers answered back to me, it made me think about like I'm looking for physical evidence, but also that spiritual woo, whatever you want to call it, that stuff can truly be scientifically documented. Infrasound can be documented, and you can establish that. And Jenny and I really would like for a lot of science people to take that serious, but I think that a lot of times, and I really respect scientists, and I think that scientists they're
getting more on board.
They're more open-minded, but my favorite scientists were always like people like Einstein and Tesla that broke those rules. Like, it's okay to be a scientist. It's okay that you paid for your degree, but you can do with it what you want. And I understand people are worried about peer evaluation, but I would really, really love for scientists to start breaking rules.
Well, that's what happened. If you look at Nikola Tesla and you look at Albert Einstein, they forged new ground, right? They were called insane and lunatics.
Yes.
And they forged new ground and broke the rules to establish new rules. And I think that's what it's going to take with the Bigfoot clan. And I think it's like you said, scientists are very scientific, right? If we can't repeat it over and over again, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But that being said, there has to be an answer. There has to be, there's a lot about space. There's a lot about energy, a lot about the fourth dimension on the world. There's a lot about nature that we don't know about, right? And Bigfoot might be the bridge to that. But they're not. They don't want to get their feet dirty and be in the woods, right? So what's it going to take? First of all, does Bigfoot need to be proven?
It doesn't to me,
right? Because I think it sounds like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying like proven. If you mean like
discovered.
Somebody catches one and then I don't know.
Cattle. If you think like when they discover the pandas, they catch a sample, then they catalog it for science, then they do and I don't think it does, because like you said, it seems to be existing on its own plane.
Right.
I mean, I think this is my prediction. Jenny and I are going to be the old man and old lady that are just going to continue to keep experimenting with
I'm not old.
and we're going to be old, like we're in our 50s right now, but like there's not much time on this planet, so why worry about what other people think? I do want to
keep going with it,
Why worry what other people think? Do what you do you, and like have fun with it, and if you find stuff, that's really cool. And I feel like we really do find stuff, and I credit a lot of that to Jenny too, but mostly Jenny. She finds a lot of stuff, but I'm saying you don't have to prove it to other people. Sometimes in life, the experiences that you have and you can take with you to wherever and you can share with other people, those are the most valuable things.
Now, I would love to ask Jenny a question. Is so if like you're out there and Bigfoot was like you had an emotional connection or a physical connection with Bigfoot, you guys saw Bigfoot, what would be your dream experience with you and your husband in the woods? Like, wow, that you can't top this Bigfoot moment in time.
I can't wait to hear this answer.
I want to hear this answer from her because you've been doing a lot of the talking, but I think she's got a really good answer for this. Like, wow, you're not, and you don't have to tell anybody about it. You would just have to be like, wow, this cannot be, it can't top it.
I don't know. You mean like the biggest Bigfoot experience ever for me?
What would, if you and Jamie were in the woods camping and you had an experience, whether it be physical, emotional, spiritual, Bigfoot came out in the woods, what would be your like? That's it. We can't top that.
Oh, if Bigfoot actually came up to us and started talking to us, I think that would be really cool. We had a conversation. Actually, whether it's I don't know whether it's talking with our mouths or a telepathic conversation. Maybe where we can exchange.
Don't look at him. This is your answer.
We can probably learn a lot. Maybe we can learn from each other.
Now, that's another good. So I would like to know, Jamie, what's your answer to that? Now, don't listen to hers. Would yours be the same or a little bit different?
I mean, if I had that opportunity and Bigfoot was willing to interact with us, I would want I would want us to part with a mutual respect. Like I don't care what it is, but there would have to be some sort of mutual respect, from one another. Like I'm human. I don't know what you are, but I respect you. That would be my coolest thing. And it doesn't have to be documented. It just has to be part of my memory bank.
Right.
Wouldn't you want just a piece of like, hey, can I just get like a fingernail? Or can I get something?
No, I don't think I would ask that because I think that would be kind of rude personally. Like I wouldn't go up to somebody from another country and say, can I have some of your hair or something? I just wouldn't do
That's true. That is true. I mean, that's the hunter in me. It's like, it's funny because each person is different. It's like, I think you guys, what I'm taking away from this conversation, and I want to thank you guys for coming on. It's been so much fun, and we got a little ways to go here yet. But it seems like you guys are in it for yourselves, right? This is fuck everybody else. We are Jamie and Jenny King, and this is we do what we do, and whether you like it or not, this is how we investigate Bigfoot, and I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Real quick question though. On the flip side though, Jamie, I know last night you spoke about how you and Jenny quit ghost hunting because of some of the bad energy that was getting attached to you guys, and you just kind of want to walk away from it. What would have to happen in the Bigfoot world for you to do the same with this? You know what I mean? Like,
well, if I don't know, I think like with ghost hunting, we did kind of walk away. That was from the one location. Will I still ghost hunt? Yes, but when it comes to Bigfoot, if I don't know what it would take. I feel like it would probably take. I don't know.
I would say if it tried to hurt us,
what happened? First of all, what happened with the ghost hunting that you guys got kind of turned off or put off from that? Did you have some bad experiences with spirits, or was it the people that you were, the community in general?
I get both.
It was both. But I would say the location that we were at, which was in Pennsylvania. I said it earlier in the podcast.
Yep.
But there was an entity there that was attaching to different people. So as volunteers, you're in that building a lot, and it started affecting each of us in a negative way. And we really didn't like the negative way that it was attached. Not attaching, but
not attaching, but it's almost like when you were there, you, to put it in, if you want to put it this way, like in frequency and energy, your energy was lowered, and you almost felt like you were upset or sad, or you wanted to be argumentative, or even if
definitely things that were not our nature. And to end it all, like they brought in a paranormal priest to bless the building, and like that was it for me. I was like, no, I really don't want any part of this anymore.
And there's another something else, but I don't know if we should say it.
Yeah, there were other things
Oh, no, you can tell us. Come on, we're all friends here on Pumpkin Trees. Come on, tell us.
Something happened in the building where there was somebody that was a volunteer there, and they were acting very strangely, and it was very odd, to say the least. And then there was something going on with somebody else that actually worked there in the building, putting cameras where they shouldn't.
Oh,
so
boy.
was another thing.
So that was more that, that was that. But like there was something there that all the people that came to this location called the Creeper, and you would never actually see it, but you would hear it, and you would hear it crawling up the walls and on the ceiling. Some people have seen it. Oof. But that became dark to us, and it was just like, I don't really want to deal with that kind of energy.
And it sounds like now, have you ever been, when you were doing the paranormal stuff, were you ever, and I'll say this to Jenny, were you ever worried about anything like that following you home? Like you guys, it sounds like you guys felt violated, not with the cameras in the inappropriate place, but you felt violated with the spirits and the entity there, right? You guys didn't feel comfortable. Were you guys ever worried about that following you home?
Actually, no, because at that point, for me, I can say that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say, no, you can't follow me home. And you can say that, like if you go somewhere that's haunted, there's spirits there, whatever. When I first started out in 2004, I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? And as we got going in the field, I was like, you know what? You have to stay here. You can't follow me home. And that's all it really takes is you got to stay here. Sometimes it doesn't work because you hear people that something does go home with them.
Yeah, I've heard.
I think, yeah.
Now,
sorry,
no, sorry. Now, Jamie, have you, now being as a male, have you ever worried about that? Or you say, no, follow me home. I don't really give a fuck. Or is that a little bit different? I'm not a ghost hunter, so I'm curious on how the male and female psyche work on this one.
I mean, I was always cognitive of the fact that whatever energy was in a building was clearly interacting with us on an intelligent level. Mm-hmm. So I would always I'm a person that doesn't really believe in I think we have the power to control a situation like that. Like we have more power than that. So I always kind of told myself, everything's okay. You're in charge. And really you are in charge. Right. That's just the way I feel, that we're in charge. We're creators. So we're born creators in life. We're creating every situation. We're creating our reactions to things. So if you show fear, I think you're going to, maybe get attached. I don't know.
Well, that's Charlie. We were talking about Charlie when you were having the audio problems. Charlie's not a big fan of sticking around if things get a little dodgy, right? And I think Jamie hits the point on the head. You whether Bigfoot is paranormal, is it interdimensional, or is it flesh and blood? I think we as human beings can have the ability to control the environment, right, with this creature, because otherwise it sounds like people would have been torn from limb from limb in the past.
You don't really hear that, right?
Right. So do you guys think that same thing holds true within the Bigfoot, when Bigfoot hunting or looking for Bigfoot, that you stand your ground? Like you said that Jenny stood her ground on one time, right? And when everybody's getting a little weird.
I was just more or less being myself, but
right, but so there's fight and flight, but I think the both of you figure out that if you spiritually and mentally you can handle any situation that might arise at a night in a forest with Bigfoot.
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
Yeah,
I
can't say for sure. Depending on what happens, I can't
right.
say that. Oh, it's evil.
He's like, I got it. But yeah, but a lot of people don't. I mean, you see that, and again, television is entertainment, but it always seems like right when they're getting good, they got to run away, right? And I've always been a fan of if it's coming, just bring it bring it at me. You know, it's what's going to happen, right? If I get torn limb from limb, I'm the guy that died from a Bigfoot attack, and the guy that's probably with me is going to get arrested for murder or something like that. You know,
it would be a bear attack, Brendan.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, I live for you got the Bigfoot Society saying, heck yes, Jenny and Jamie. I don't know if you know who the Bigfoot Society is, but they're checking in, saying hello.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, I've always said this to the guys is I'm 6'4", 320 pounds. I'm a big guy. I would love to be just a little bit shaken up, like have the howl, the scream, or a little uncomfortable tree throw or something like that. I would love to be terrified, put it that way. I would like to be a little uncomfortable in the woods. And I think that you guys have had some amazing experiences, and you really haven't been doing that all along. There's people that have been investigating Bigfoot for 30 or 40 years. And it sounds like you guys have been doing it only for the last 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah.
12.
I mean, Jenny and I have known each other since we were 10 years old. So we met when we were 10 and we're like 52 now. So, you know, like we've had a pretty strange life. Like both of us, we've had strange encounters. And I think it has to do, like, I mean, when you think in terms of energy, like it's very plausible that you have a lot of people that have Bigfoot, UFO, ghostly encounters. It's because maybe their frequencies are a little bit different. And I'm not saying that's like I'm cooler than anybody else, because I'm not.
I agree with you.
I'm more open. I don't know.
And that's true. I mean, that's we were talking about that earlier. Sometimes you have some people are a little bit more open-minded, or a little bit more they're tuned just a little off center, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that opens them up to the strange stuff in the wood. And right now, I see the skeptics, and I see the flesh and blood people going, "Oh, these people are a bunch of hippies, fucking blah blah blah." You know what? You know what?
Parents were hippies, but.
But I mean and I was flesh and blood when we started this thing, and I tell you, the people that I've talked to and the things that I've seen and things that we've documented recently in the last couple of weeks leads me to believe that there's something a little bit more to this. Is it paranormal? Is it woo, which is a derogatory term? But is it there has to be something more to this than meets the eye.
Here's the thing. I feel like I hate labels anyway. So I feel like the way that we research is we're researching all of those. Like,
right. It's all of it. It's all
paranormal.
Of it.
I'm not going to throw any of it out the window, because I'm not done getting my questions answered. So, you know, I'm okay with not getting any answers and just having a good day in the woods, but it's good to experiment. And I just don't like labels. Like, I'm not big on them.
No, and I agree, and I sense that with you guys. I mean, we met 5 minutes before the show started, but I can clearly sense that you guys are open-minded. You're very understanding of the forest. You understand how things work, but you're also willing to accept whatever comes your way out there. That being said, I hope that maybe we can. I'm sure, Charlie, you have their contact information. We're definitely coming up to the Allegheny this year, so maybe yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you can meet us by Bradford, somewhere up there. To be great. I'm definitely putting that on the list, Charlie. So we're gonna have to go up there. Yeah, we missed last year because of illnesses and stuff like that. But we haven't been up there, and this will be the second year. So we're gonna have to definitely plan for that.
Charlie, we've met you several times, but we've never been out in the woods with you.
Yeah,
no, and I know Bill wants to get out. Bill Rigby wants to get out in the woods with us, and Cryptovania. So we definitely got to make more trips out to Western PA and hang out with our friends, because it's we're all after the same goal, and
we are.
It's nice that what's fun about this, and the more we do the shows like this, is you meet people that you connect with. You get it. You can have a conversation. You can respect their values and their opinions. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. Everybody's open-minded. And I get that 100% from you guys. So I can't thank you enough. Audio problems, video problems, all aside, you guys are great guests. And you're going to promise to come back on, right?
We were the worst guest ever.
I know. Trust me. I got that private jet. Trust me. You guys are a pleasure. So stick around. We're going to wrap it up now, but stick around backstage. We're going to chat for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, now, real quick, do you guys want to tell anybody how they can get in touch with you, or how they can follow you guys, where your Facebook page is, if you have a YouTube channel? How can people follow Jamie and Jenny King?
We're really hard to find, but you can find us on Facebook, JAMI King, JAMI King. JAMI King, JENNY. And then we have this local Bigfoot thing that I made so big that nobody can ever find it, and I can't even find it sometimes myself. But I'm an administrator on Pennsylvania Sasquatch Research, so you can find me on there.
Okay. And again, that's JENNY, and that's JEMI King, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
JAMI.
Yeah.
And then, guys, where you guys speaking? You guys got any upcoming engagements going to be talking?
I'm going to be speaking August 6th. Yeah, the
Really?
Moth Boys invited me.
She's going to be at the Cryptid Bash 2 in
Cryptid
Morgantown, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's hosted by the Small Town Monsters and
nice
Moth Boys podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seth,
and it's all about the art in Morgantown. So I think it's going to be Jenny, and then there's going to be Heather Taddy from Paranormal Show.
Heather was just on our show. She was on the paranormal. We have a paranormal show that is hosted on Thursday nights.
Oh,
and Heather was just on. She's a adorable and enlightening, very funny guest. She's a good one. So when is that again? When is that in Morgantown?
August 6th. Right?
August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, excellent. Charlie, do you have anything else? I would like to thank our guests, Jamie and Jenny King, for Chuck. You guys hang out backstage. Don't jump off now because we're going to sign off here. For Chuck Larson, I am Brendan Brown, and this has been From Behind Tall Trees. Thank you very much for watching.
From Behind Tall Trees.
Yes, From Behind Tall Trees. I said that. And we will see you. We will see you from Behind Tall Trees. And we will see you next week with Gwen and Carrie. The ladies of the CARC return. They'll have a special ladies' night with Sean Forker. Forker, is that how you say it?
Forker.
Yeah.
Sean's awesome.
Yep.
Sean Forker will be on. Yep, he'll be on next Wednesday, June 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sean is great.
Until then, folks, we'll see you next time.
You've been watching From Behind Tall Trees, a Catskill Appalachian Research Collective production. For more information on this program and others like it, remember to like, share, and subscribe to CARC Universal Today. To join the conversation on our Facebook group, become a member of the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective Facebook group. CARC.